$1 billion of federal
I know y'all lying, right?
Are we
Yeah, y'all lying.
right now?
No, tomorrow.
No, I'm saying are we right now? So
Welcome to the Monday drop of the Fli-City Blackout Show.
Peace, love, and light.
We got Nicole here and
Satara. How y'all?
How y'all doing this evening?
So y'all real dry today.
So, I might be a little dry and I apologize greatly. I am just a teeny tired.
It's a Monday. I mean, what more can we expect on
I had a long weekend. Hey, my uncle got married. I was in a wedding. And that was a lot, okay? Older people like to party.
Oh, yeah.
Since they're retired,
they got nothing to do.
They got nothing to do.
Party.
What?
They got their bags, so they
Listen,
finna start partying.
I'm talking about tired, okay? So, yeah. So, let me see. What'd you do this weekend? The Scooty had football?
This weekend, yep. It was football on Sunday with the son and spent some time with my family, my grandparents.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, spent some time over there.
That's nice.
And I went to Detroit.
Did you?
I did. I went to a fancy restaurant called Prime and Proper, and it was very prime and proper.
Oh,
it was very classy and elegant.
Oh,
and,
that was nice.
an upscale restaurant.
Don't you
downtown Detroit?
Okay.
So I was like really impressed. Had a wonderful time with a nice group of friends, and it was much needed.
Yeah,
much needed.
We gotta do something around here like that, so we don't have to travel so far, right?
Yeah. And what else this weekend? Really just tried to relax from a week of work. Like just kind of wind down and catch a breath a little bit.
I wish I could say the same. And then, Saturday, I try not to get swept up to Oz. On that wind and tornado.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just trying not to go to Oz. That was it.
It was a bit windy, huh?
It was,
the tornado. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, I saw it in the news where it was like a house, like that tornado, it did some damage in Genesee County.
So,
like, I think the house was just completely destroyed.
Yeah, it was a lot that happened like towards Pontiac and White Lake. It tore like the side off of Salvation Army. It tore the roof off of Home Depot, part of Walmart.
Now, I'm like, that's crazy because I mean, in Michigan, we should hardly ever have tornadoes. The weather here is it's way different. It's just
Mother
like
Nature said, y'all.
Michigan tornadoes. Yes, in Michigan we had tornadoes.
Yes. Mother Nature said we sleeping on her, so she had to wake
Mother
us
Nature
up.
gonna do what she gonna do. Listen. You can't fight with Mother Nature.
I bow down. I don't want no smoke with her, okay? I don't want no smoke with her. I'll do all of that.
Right, yeah. I'm just glad, that it wasn't as severe as it could have been, because tornadoes can do some serious damage.
Right.
And, I think, this weekend, that's funny, you talk about tornadoes. I was at Hasselbring as well. We had a nice event there for the Prince Hall affiliate family. Oh, yeah. And so it was a really nice event there where all the Shriners and different people got together, and the Eastern Stars, and just fellowship. And it was really lovely. Brotherly, sisterly love. And while we were there, we kind of got caught up in that, that tornado, that rain and everything. Yeah. So it was just like, man, when I say it poured, it poured.
That's pretty cool to hear that. I kind of miss doing some of those things with my in-laws, because, they were, she was a Mason, she was an Eastern Star. So, I used to get invited to all of those
different functions and parties and fundraisers.
Baby, and they party. Yeah. See, I was talking about that. They party. Yeah, no, I ain't got that party yet. But they party. So what's been going on around the city? So the school board had a meeting, right?
Yep, school board had a meeting. What was it? The Mott Foundation.
They be a hot mess express from what I hear.
Pulling funding from the city.
Man, listen.
Flint.
I am so we had some other things going on while that was going on, so I wasn't privy to all of it, but just a kind of a little synopsis of it. I know that they were wanting the teachers to take a pay cut and reduce their health care benefits. See, here's
I think
the thing.
I heard also it was like the funding for the Youth Quest and the different programs that they had. They were pulling, that, and I'm just like, we got to do better by our kids, in the city.
Well, see, I think that's the problem, right? That we're not keeping
those programs,
I just think that that's part of the problem, right? That we're not keeping them at the forefront of our minds of, that it is about the children at the end of the day, right? So with you giving the teachers a pay cut, listen, here's the thing. These teachers are with your children a whole lot more than you are.
Yes.
And we're going to take the funding away from them. They get tired too. Like, it's not like they make like these grand salaries to begin with, right?
Right.
And their health benefits, they used to have really good health benefits. I'm not sure what they are like now. However, even if they have decreased over time, taking away their health benefits, that's insane.
That's insane.
Shit is already high, right?
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Healthcare costs alone.
Listen, I'm telling you, even if you have like, most of the people that have insurance, the companies that have insurance are making you go to PPOs, and then you have these outlandish co-pays,
high deductible insurance plans.
Yep, and these HSAs, that shit is dead. I think that's the most insane. But hey, look, who am I?
I honestly feel that the teachers should be highly compensated for the role that they play in our children's lives. Like they deserve, honestly, I think we should look at the pay scale for them and adjust it. For teachers, they deserve the utmost pay that they can get because that's a job.
It's sad. It's sad because the people that love children and love to work with children, they just really, when they think about it, like as much as they would love to do it, in order to live, their livelihood depends on this check that they're getting, right? And so in order to do the things that they love, they have to take this, they have to live in poverty. That's crazy.
That's beyond crazy. That's insane.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they want to be able to pay their bills and things like that, because you cannot tell me that you can live in a nice place on a teacher's salary, just you alone. I'm not saying that like if you married or whatever, 2 incomes always better than one. I don't care how you slice
two
that.
is most definitely better than one.
But I'm just saying, especially like you're a young teacher, you starting out or whatever. How do you get to the point to where you have the financial ability to stay here? Because you're paying off student loans probably, right? That's a whole nother conversation. And then you got to worry about trying to live. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, you're not getting the amount of money that you need in the school to buy supplies. I know so many teachers that
they spend their own money to buy the supplies.
That's
for
what
their
I'm saying.
Classrooms and for the
insane.
Because
crazy.
They really care.
Right.
There are teachers out there that genuinely care about the children and want to teach them and give them the best experience they can, because they know that their futures depend on it.
Right.
And I really feel like, that the teachers definitely need to be, well compensated for the role that they play in our children's lives. And hopefully the city is, looking at that and reevaluating everything.
That would be nice. So I know Brother Roberts and I were talking earlier, and we were discussing it kind of a little bit because we both were just trying to research it a little bit more to see what happened, because he was doing some other stuff as well. And so we were just talking, and he was just like, it's just salvaging a sinking ship. And I said, that is a great way to put it, right? Yeah. And and you think about it, like the schools back in the day, they were doing some like history on it, right? Mm-hmm. And the schools back then were totally funded by Mott.
I didn't know that.
See, that's what I'm saying.
There were grants coming into the city,
totally funded by Mott,
to the school
and
board
then it started getting funded by local taxes and the lottery and all of that. But Where the taxes coming from? Ain't nobody got no, where you pulling the taxes from?
Right, and the population has decreased drastically.
Because why? Because people want their kids to go to better schools, so they moving to Grand Blanc, they moving to Flushing, they moving to Davidson. So where you gonna get the funds from? Where you gonna get the taxes from? Because now you no longer have this house in the city, now because you are in Grand Blanc, or you in Davidson, or you in Flushing, right? Blew my mind. It's just stuff we don't even think about, and it just makes more sense. And then you just like, well.
Mhm.
So what's gonna happen at the end of the day? So if we continue to go down this same road, what's gonna happen? Now we got
more charter schools,
more
setting
stuff
up,
closing, more
more
busing to somewhere else because we
busing,
don't
yeah.
have any schools here, which is by design, right?
It's all about design. It's all about design.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to a much lighter topic.
Because that one is a rabbit hole.
Whew. Yeah.
So there was a state of emergency issue for gun violence.
The state issued a state of
Emergency for
State
gun
of-
violence.
The mayor Flint.
The mayor,
Mayor
Flint
Oh.
issued a state of emergency
Mm.
for the city on gun violence.
I'm not really sure what that entails, so I don't know if that means it's gonna be more police out here just pulling niggas over. I don't know.
Probably more curfews, and
Listen, I just have to call a spade
I
a
don't
spade.
know,
But they
more
said
troopers on the
If you
ground.
parking, they can take your whip. They can arrest you for that.
Oh, so no
violation.
more parking lot pimping, just so y'all know.
Right.
No more parking lot
No
pimping.
more
'cause they can
clubs
take
to
the
no
car.
go. Listen, no more clubs.
No more clubs to no go, no more club marathon or wherever you parking at. Cut it
Clayo
out.
Road.
Right.
What's next?
Okay,
All
brother.
of
Jaleel
that.
said gun violence is a pandemic that exceeds coronavirus in the black community amongst our youth.
Jaleel can tell y'all more about
Why is
what's going on with that.
Hey,
too.
King Jaleel. I'm sorry I don't see your comments.
That
That
says
says
gun violence is a pandemic that exceeds coronavirus in the black community against our youth.
You said which one was right, King Rich?
I agree.
Yes.
He know more about this than
King Jaleel, I agree wholeheartedly.
Really cue him in about the.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that,
implemented.
with them issuing this state of emergency, I think that they should reach out to more people like you all that are doing these things with these young men out in the community that can help decrease some of this and give you all some of the funding that you all need
From the
to be out
American
here.
Rescue Plan, because
I'm just saying.
that's where the funding is coming from.
Well,
So I think it would be a good idea to use a lot of that funding, to fund programs to prevention, right?
I think
Intervention programs.
some of that money is going towards organizations like that.
Different organizations.
Because I know the mayor even mentioned us in his speech when he was talking about declaring an emergency.
He mentioned what now?
He mentioned Man Up and some more organizations that do that similar kind of work.
That's
I think
definitely a positive from the mayor. I think that it has a positive tonation to it to make sure that there's funding going to the different organizations and programs in the city to help kind of circumvent the issue. But then we also need, that manpower we do need the protection on the ground. We need the manpower to getting them guns. You know what I mean?
So I play devil's advocate, right?
Mhm.
And I get it. Yes, it is positive. However, just mentioning it don't merely mean me, right? I don't feel like you should just mention it. Like, reach out to these people and really do your due diligence if you really gonna do it. Don't just say it because it seems like the right thing to say because you on the camera. You get what I'm saying? So reach out to King Jaleel and say, hey, listen, we need you. Reach out to all of them, to all of you all and say, hey, we need you. We need to put together a plan and get these people together and say, listen, what can we do collectively?
King Jaleel just said statistics show more Black people since March of 2020, when the pandemic was announced. More Black youth from 12 to 25 has been killed by gun violence than died from the coronavirus.
Listen.
Now, is that in the city or is that a national
that's
statistic?
national.
That's a national statistic.
However,
But
you
it's
know,
probably true in the
but
city too.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But it is though, because if you think about it, you just think about it. You remember the 1 week we had, it was every day like boom, boom, boom. It was something happening.
Yes.
2 a day.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing it like, man, it's like,
People dropping like flies.
It's
sad to say.
ridiculous. It's
sad.
crazy.
It's really, really, really sad.
and I know we just don't, it's not enough for these children to do. There's not enough places for these children to go. And the more things that you're trying to shut down and take away from them, they don't have any outlets for anything. And so your answer is to what? Just shut it down and then what? For them to continue to do this? It has to be something, to replace it, right? So I feel like you should have more programs, like you said, and things like that to come up with. And again, I just feel like Mayor Neely, you just need to come together with some of these people and say, hey, what is it that we can implement? What is it that we can put in place that's going to get some of these kids off the streets and into these programs so they can stop doing some of the stuff that they're doing? What if one of the programs was to get with the what's the speedway place out in Clio? And they want to drag race. What if it's to teach them how to do it for real and have a program out there with them? And that way they can,
Learn how to do
But
it.
why not build one here?
I'm saying, but until one gets built, that can be the starting point, right?
Right.
That can be the starting point. You want to drag race, come learn how to do it for real and do it on the track. Why couldn't we partner with them to do that until we built one for ourselves? I'm
That's
just saying,
a good idea.
it's so many things that you can implement just off the fly that can help it, because these are some of the things that they like to do.
That's
They want to
their
what?
interest.
Go fast, turn left. That's all you do on the track. Go fast, turn left. Do that.
But if you paid attention, just look how what our neighborhood, they give things for their kids to exert energy,
Right.
take everything from us. 'Cause
You're
if you look
taking
at-
Absolutely.
everything away.
if you look at the community, just look at the communities where they got the employment rate is 80% or better. Tell me what the crime rate is. Then
Right.
show me the communities where the unemployment rate is 70 or 80% better.
You're absolutely right.
I bet
Give
you the crime rate is high.
them something to do so
You're
they can drive them
absolutely
fast cars home and go to bed.
But see, that's my point, right? And maybe getting a partnership with them and giving them something to do. Because it's not like that thing is open 24 hours a day, every day. But if we take a couple days a week and have them do that, and it can be constructive,
But
we can generate some funding, some money to do that, right? And do that, and it's constructive. It's not in anybody's way. Nobody's getting hurt, and they're learning how to do it the correct way, right? That's all I'm saying. Just implement some things like that. I don't think that it's rocket science. I don't think that it should be this hard to do it.
I think what it
never
is we
should have done this
we
far.
need that manpower, people that's willing to, step
So do you
up
need
and
the
take
helicopter?
initiative. And
Hell no, we don't need
say,
no helicopter.
I'm willing to do this, and man this program. And then you can have these programs, but then it's getting the people to participate. You have wonderful programs in place for them to circumvent the issues and, stop all this like, hey, y'all, come over here. We over here. This is what we doing. And then you have, don't have a big turnout.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Participation. It's getting that participation up. And maybe some of the barriers, is transportation, getting to the programs, that they may have in place. So.
But then that's the city thing, right? So if the bus can take them out there, that's a whole nother income for the city, right? Because that's a city bus, right? That's all I'm saying.
Why would somebody want to catch a bus from somewhere to race their cars? They gonna drive their cars there.
Well, I'm just talking about other programs.
I'm just talking about,
I'm
not even just for that. I'm just talking about programming, period. However, what if it wasn't just their cars that they're racing? They can have it, their racing days there, but what if it was the programs for the younger kids to learn how to do it? You know what I'm saying? Not the ones that have a car to race.
I know what you're saying.
Right,
Yeah.
right, like
So for them to go in there and just learn how to do it, or learn how to be in the pit, right? Yeah, because it's more than just racing. You got to learn about the wind and the tail and how you spin around. It's a whole lot to it. I don't know all the logistics of it. Ain't my lane, but they like to do it. It's drifting. It's all kinds of
But
stuff.
if we gonna think big and talk about doing some race, that'll get us a Flint 500 then. That'll do some real racing and bring some real money in here.
That's fine too, but we got to start somewhere, right? We can't just start at the top, Rich.
That'll do some real racing.
So, Jaleel
Get out of
says,
here before you
moving
go
on.
over here.
Jaleel says the Board of Education has 4 members fighting to stand up against against Ridgeway White and the Mott Foundation for bullying them to take a disrespectful deal of selling Central and Whittier for $1.
Wow.
Mott builds 2 new schools and leases them back to the city for $1 to $2 million. Pimping ain't easy. Man, listen,
Wow.
it's not. So here's the thing. So Central being closed and it being in the catastrophic state that it is in right now is so, like, it's disrespectful. It's just,
My mom went to Central, so I mean, my heart goes to that building.
I didn't go to that school, but I
She
spent
was
some time
she's
there.
an Indian for life, okay?
Hey, listen, I did a little skip in that Central. did a little skip in that Central. I didn't go there, but the point is, that was a beautiful school.
Yes.
It was a beautiful school. That was a beautiful school, and there's no way that it should be in the dire straits that it is right now. Because here's my thing about it. When they were first talking about dismantling all them schools, and I was just like, why close that big one when they can combine everything and it can be in this big, beautiful building? But hey, who am I?
I got a question.
But I'm talking about the financial transaction though. So
That dollar?
You gonna
That
sell it
dollar?
for $1 though?
I got $1.
$1 though.
I got $1.
The value, the disrespect is just like.
What was that? When that $10 they paid?
I think it was $10 or something like that. Yeah.
But how do you feel about them now want to build some schools, but they were still letting the Flint kids go to them schools that was unsatisfactory as far as building should be?
I feel like Jaleel said, pimping ain't easy.
Right. So now they getting the high. He want to build. We ain't even got enough students for them to try to build 5 schools.
We don't have, we do not have enough. And so is that the thing? So you want to build these schools to bring these kids back in the city of Flint just so you can make the money off of it, because at the end of the day, the profit is yours because you charge.
The land. You ain't got, why do you need 5 schools and you only got 3,000 students?
But again, my point is this, is it to get students back into the city, right? To go to these schools, because at the end of the day, the lease is gonna be $1 to $2 million.
And I mean, you have to look at location too. Maybe it's making it feasible for them to get to the school.
But how many, but if we don't have enough kids for that.
5 new schools they was talking about building. You only got 3,000 students.
Exactly. There's not enough students for it.
So is it a land grab?
Probably. I assume, yes, it is a land grab. It's so much land out here to be grabbed, I'm sure. I can guarantee it is. Because then what happens when they get the land right and they're supposed to build the schools, but then they say, oh, darn, there's not going to be enough children here. Let's build something else.
Yeah. Repurpose it, right?
Yeah.
Repurpose.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, we have the land, we have it, we can repurpose this.
We were going to build a school, however.
That's the point.
That's what I'm saying, and that's where it's going to come from. However, we reevaluated. We crunched the numbers, right?
So
Had enough students.
So what is your superintendent doing? Is she playing the game with them? What about the 3 board members? If they say they got 4 that's fighting them, why, what's wrong with the superintendent being with them 4 board members?
So I was gonna ask Rich that, but he had walked out.
I'm ready to come in now.
Oh, come on, tell me, because I'm just trying to figure out what's the superintendent's, or maybe King, Jaleel, maybe you could tell me, what's the superintendent's stance on that? Like, cause I'm trying to understand, how is she profiting from this or not profiting from it?
Who's the superintendent?
Mm-hmm.
For one thing, her pay is still gonna be where it is, no matter what happens.
Okay. Slide on in, Rich.
There we go.
Get on in this time.
For one thing, that's not gonna change. Yeah, we on. All right. Yeah, for one thing, that's not gonna change because that's a salary. So anything else is a hidden agenda. And maybe what y'all are asking is the reason why they wanted to rush it through without having the board members review what was going on. So that was like a city council thing. They just put it together, presented it, vote yes, They said, no, we want to sit down and discuss this with y'all.
Mm.
And they said, okay, we're gonna pull our funding from this program. And then it's similar to what happened with that 910 radio, we got on 910 with Kwame Kilpatrick.
Okay.
How he got mad because Kwame wouldn't do a show on his broadcast, so he told all of his stations that they couldn't mention his name, and then he woke up the next day and said, y'all can mention his name.
Do it now.
So that's something similar to what happened in this situation. He got mad, made a statement, went to sleep, woke up like, whoa, I gotta recheck that.
So is that what happens though? We have to, we suffer from people's temper tantrums?
Whoa.
Listen, I'll call it how I see it. I'm just saying,
is.
it was a temper tantrum,
It
right?
is what it is.
Right? So you gonna hit them, you can't get my way. So you're gonna be mad. So we suffer from people's temper tantrums, basically. Oh.
I would Jaleel just answer a question. He
He
said,
said the superintendent was having private meetings
Oh.
with Ridgeway
Mhm.
White,
Making
making
agreements.
agreements outside the board's knowledge, which led to the whole fiscal
See what I'm
fiasco
saying?
that took place at Scott School this past Friday.
Mm.
Okay.
Makes sense.
There it is.
That almighty dollar, huh? You just get bought and paid for it. That's something, you know. It's, you know, that's sad. That's a shame. You know, all money not good money, because at the end of the day, end up burning your ass.
Man.
That is so true.
I'm just saying.
You ain't never lying, sis.
I'm probably not the right one for these podcasts. I'm probably not the right one.
No deal. No deal. I'm good.
I'm probably not the right one. Let me get off.
Y'all all right. Y'all all right.
Man.
so basically she was talking, she was basically talking to him without them, so she didn't want them to
She
know.
didn't want them to know.
Yeah, she didn't want the board to know.
But that's what
They
happened,
got
huh?
caught up.
Should I go back
You
to
throw
our
your
leaders?
rock and hide your hand.
So basically that go back to our leaders then, right? The people we put in leaders.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you know what else? And it's so crazy
Training,
because
though, I think, are they properly trained to be in those positions and know how they function and operate accordingly?
Do you need to be trained how to sell out?
it's trained? Thank you, because that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You don't get trained to sell out.
Maybe
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Y'all
It
gonna
could
get
be.
me in trouble.
You didn't say it. I said it, Rich. Y'all don't put that on Rich. I said it.
I said
Me,
it, Rich.
we
I
said it.
it.
But I was getting ready to
But
say
y'all
that
be
too.
y'all be saying stuff that would say if I was in
I'm just saying.
But that's a question that I was getting ready to say. Is that a
everybody
training?
know real.
Is sellout a training? Like, where do you take that course?
It got to be. It
It has to be, because everybody is taking it. And I'm just saying, because it's got to be this new course is it being taught in mine? Is that where it's being taught in?
I think it's being taught in Flint.
It's just being taught in Flint, period?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know
In
where that
Flint
class is
politics.
at.
It's being-
Politics.
Okay.
I think it's being pushed on people. I can give y'all a real powerful person. I'm not gonna say her name, but she is real powerful. And I hung with her at the Democratic convention.
Okay.
And all day long, she talked about doing something once she got in office.
Okay.
And the way she was carrying herself and like doing this election, they were like, we ain't really worried about this race. We ain't really worried about this. It's that race that we worry about. They did not want her to get the Democratic nomination.
See,
But yet, after she got the nomination, because we put her in there,
mm-hmm.
and then she got in office.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I seen her, I said, my people in Flint, they really don't like you, but I understand that somebody tapped you on the shoulder. And you ain't been the same person since they tapped you on the shoulder.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't nobody tap me on the shoulder. That's my problem now. They know that.
So here's my thing with that. Okay. So we get these people in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
They bamboozled us, right?
Right.
Hoodwinked even. Hey, Pat.
Hey.
So they hoodwinked us, bamboozled us, right? And then, but we elect them again.
And again.
What's wrong with us? We elect them
And
again.
again.
So they in there doing the same tap dance again and again.
Brother Jalil just said, I mean, he has a good point here where he says, you know, we should never give one person that much control over the program funding.
Yep.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
Because when the one person has too much control over things, you know, it's liable to be some dysfunction.
But this why I wish you would have been here earlier when Brother Roberts was here, where you can see why the Flint schools is funded. I mean, not why they always lacking. It was not set up to make it without my giving them the money.
Oh, so he and I talked about that because they funded them totally at first.
And but when you're not, like you basically saying, when you're not letting other philanthropists come in, where you can go get other money.
Right.
That's why what I was saying earlier when I was talking to you, Rich, like, city council shouldn't be, because I was kind of upset when I heard somebody on Weaver program when they was talking about you need to have political science. This is why we in this trouble right now with these politics.
Can I speak on that?
Go ahead.
We got some political geniuses. They were so geniuses, they bought Auto World to Flint.
Right.
They were so smart, they done bought all of these hotels to Flint that ain't no longer Flint. They were so smart that they got that now hotel downtown with a 50-year tax abatement. And I don't even think, and the last time I heard somebody talk about that abatement, it was a person that voted for him, they was on the board and helped them get that building. They charged them $400 for a nasty room and parking and all of that. And even if it was a 5-star hotel, who gonna pay $400 to sleep in Flint, Michigan?
Hey,
But they had political science degrees and all of that other good stuff that you talk about that they need to have. Those were those people that made those decisions.
But where the business people was at.
There you go.
So that's what I'm looking at. Like your mayor and your council, you should have business people.
Yeah.
You should have some people like an activist that's out in the street should be on the council board.
You should just have regular people that's out here in the city.
But in all type of forms that you got a business person, you might have a street person that may not mean it just, but an activist that's out in the street on the ground that's talking to the people.
Definitely.
Because these council people.
Man, look, the council just need to, real talk, the council just need to do like, it's street laws. It should be council laws. You cannot get nothing agreed with us if you need an abatement. If you can't pay your taxes, you can't come to Flint. Simple as that. It should be a rule. 50 years, you give a hotel fee. Look what y'all did to the Capitol Theater.
Now look how they let GM leave.
There you go.
Hey, listen, can y'all put $2 million into a business in the 3rd Ward?
Why the mayor office ain't on the north side and bring it from
Why
downtown?
is it not on the north side?
Oh man, that's a big one. But and y'all gonna have to talk about that. Y'all might have to go back to 1920 and start this argument.
You can put it on Clyde, but it take a special person to do that.
Absolutely.
To bring the subject up.
Yeah. Because that's the thing though, right? A lot of these people are accessible to us.
Yeah.
They're not readily available and accessible to us.
And they make it that way.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, real talk.
Well, it's a protection as well. I mean, to a certain extent, to protect the council, the government.
But if you're not being shady and you're not doing all this underhanded crap, why do you need all that protection? I'm just asking. Cause I just feel like if I boom, because I just feel like if you doing right and you living right, what you worried about?
Just give an example. Look how city council won't even come do Zoom. Man. Look how they ain't meeting down to everybody else.
Look how they ignored me today.
Yeah.
And they ignored me today, like really ignored me, like Rich Jones really didn't say nothing.
But this is the question I want to get. How can people be mad if city council meeting from just say for 10 hours? Do you understand they doing 50? That's millions of dollars of business they doing like this.
And they should be willing to do it.
That's like that 47 million. Do you understand when companies do deals, sometimes they might negotiate for then 7 months for big mergers.
A whole lot of disagreeing and all that, a lot of.
It's
But here's
definitely a
the
process.
thing. Here's the thing though. It's definitely a process.
It's a
I have been in those meetings where we have had a meeting and we have had a working meeting and we do lunch, right? And then we say, okay, we'll reconvene. Say this happened on a Tuesday, we'll reconvene on Thursday. But we have this is gonna happen every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 6 months. That happens because it's a lot of money on the table. However, all of that foolishness and chaos and all that bickering and arguing about stuff that's really not on the table, that's the
It
difference.
gets you nowhere.
That's the difference. It's structured. Those meetings are structured, and what's on the table is what's on the table.
And it's
You
exercise.
sidebar when we say, okay, we're gonna break for 20 minutes. Then those sidebars and conversations come up. And then those other things that you may want to bring up to the meeting that you think is relevant to it, you asked to bring that to it, right? See, that's the thing. It's not structured. It's just a bunch of
It's not
chaos. It's just a bunch of
productive.
words clucking at.
Can I intervene a little
Yeah.
bit? Like I stated Saturday, and a lot of people ignore it and start conversations and derailment and all that. But the truth of the matter is this: they stopped having committee meetings. So just like today, it was a committee meeting. It was a committee meeting that we were listening to.
Yeah.
And it just ended when
Right before
y'all
live.
started the show.
Yeah.
So now they're into another committee meeting.
Mhm.
And then after
And
that
wasn't that-
committee meeting,
wasn't-
maybe they'll start the council
But wasn't
meeting.
that what Mays was talking about, that we need to bring this back because they hadn't had a
They don't have
haven't had
they don't have
meetings in
committee
forever.
meetings. And
Yeah.
see what's
Yeah,
important
it is
about the
important.
committee
Yeah.
meeting, the committee meetings is it gives you time to do some homework before the council meeting.
Who stopped the committee meetings?
Who stopped the committee meetings?
A pause.
Vote for Michael Dones in the 4th Ward City Council.
Oh, Kate Field. That answer. So who
Oh
gave her-
my God!
Mike Dones,
Who gave her the
My
power
God.
though to do that? Because she's only one vote.
the Fast Five,
Santino.
the Vicious Five,
Was it?
the Flint Hayden Five.
Which one was it? Was it Herb Winfrey or was it Maurice Davis?
And see that might have been Maurice Davis back then.
So how long did these goofy rules supposed to last? Wasn't it supposed to have a time limit on them?
Well, tell somebody to call the question. And ain't no use to Eric Mays calling the question because Kate Fields got the 5 votes.
Oh, so you mean Herb Winfrey over there
so
now?
Herb.
He part of the Vicious
Oh,
Five.
so not here. Oh, dang.
He part of the
I'm
Vicious. We can't call him a
Man, but look,
I'm
vicious.
so disappointed.
but look,
Ain't he a pastor or a deacon?
Oh, dang.
I wonder how he's sleeping at night. Is Jesus a God talking to him then?
Oh my.
well, y'all need to look at the history.
I'm just saying.
What ward do we come from?
Ain't he in the 6th ward?
Who appointed him?
Oh.
Okay, let's keep it real.
Oh, so you say he? Oh, so he,
Wait, he is in the 6th ward. Who appointed him?
Sheldon Neely.
Because what Neely gave up his seat for 6th ward, right?
Gave up his
I
seat.
just asked you now, was it a
Okay.
school? Now you said, was it a school of sellouts? That might answer the question.
See,
I can't call them sellouts. I can just
I
say I can say they make decisions that I don't agree with.
Sellout.
no, that's a sellout. I don't care how you slice that.
Do they make
Listen.
decisions for the people? I'm not asking you. Do they make decisions for the people?
No.
Sometimes I'm not gonna put them down all the way
Yeah.
down.
It's
But
important.
you know,
That's cool.
you know, I'm gonna be honest. I know a drummer for a church,
Mhm.
and I know that the pastor or that drummer ain't right. But I did not tell that drummer to stop playing the drums for that church
No, you can't bet on that.
just because things ain't right between me and him
Right.
don't mean that things ain't right between that pastor and that drummer. And I don't want that drummer to knock his blessing because of a personal issue that I have with that pastor. So that's the same way I look at these politics.
But what if that certain pastor end up playing that drummer? Then he'd be like, damn, you tell him, well,
Well, no, and then I ain't gonna be mad then too, because like I stated my case. He know why I don't like his path.
Okay, well then you
But
said
when
that's
you-
So
fine.
here's the thing. So
But-
you said, okay, so I want to go back to you said you won't call him a sellout. So the definition of a sellout. So the definition of a sellout is a person who betrays a cause, organization, or the like, right? A traitor, a person who compromises his or her personal values, integrity, talent, or the like for money or personal advancement.
Man, y'all, man.
Well, if we talk
After
like
I made
that,
these
there's a
things,
lot of
after-
sellouts out
Absolutely,
I was
here.
gonna say-
and that's why he said it must be a class in Flint.
After I make this statement, y'all gonna have to change that meaning. Because
I listen. I'm just
Because
doing
listen,
it. I ain't
no,
I mean
listen,
it.
because a lot of people,
Yeah,
Hold out.
a
Just so-
lot of people
definitely,
sold Flint out when
definitely.
Eric May subpoenaed Rick Snyder and it never happened.
Hey, listen.
So a lot of people, but I'm gonna say this, I wasn't one of them.
Listen.
I was ride or die, I'm still ride or die. If I'm elected, if I can bring it back up, I'm gonna bring it back up. But a lot of people went silent.
Okay, I got a question for you then, since you ain't gonna say they ain't on that, okay?
Okay.
What about the water thing?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider the council people sellouts on that then? And the mayor?
In all kinds of ways.
Okay, so they sold it out.
But now listen, I gotta give Mayor Neely some credit.
Give him some credit.
Okay.
Because at least Mayor Neely did say, it's the flow, not the ceiling.
Well, we had the flow there.
But like I said, then I'd have been in dog houses and that flow might have close to the ceiling.
Right.
So that, but at least he did say that. What I don't get is your boy right here knew that if enough of us did not opt in, that none of this stuff that's going on now, the 150 people that went downtown and begged for fairness, which I don't think we're gonna get. But they didn't stand behind me when I said opt out. If enough of us would have opted out, all of this stuff that we're going through now, these little bit of nutting checks that some of us is finna get, and I'm gonna make this point very clear. The George Floyd family received $29 million. If he would have been in this lawsuit, his family would have received $1.5 million. So after that statement has been made, it is very clear that no matter what category you are in, no matter how much money is in that category, no matter how many people you're getting that money divided and split with, you're going to be shortchanged.
So my take on, I just think that we ain't had the right energy when we was approaching this whole water situation.
It
Right?
was people.
Like I
We ain't
said,
had the right.
we was saying the wrong. They was playing chess and we was playing checkers.
You better believe it.
That's
Cause did
exactly.
you listen to Miss Weaver's show, former Mayor Weaver's show today? No, she
I did
had
not
some-
come with it.
No, when she had the reporter on there, when they show you how the games that they played, the cover up, you know the dude, the reporter who broke the story said that it was the past attorney general to the new attorney general. They covering up stuff.
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly.
Like how emails got erased.
All of that was going on back in 2015.
We got another Watergate.
What I'm saying is, we're still playing checkers.
But
They're done with this.
Yeah, I mean,
we talk about old news.
But
They're
that-
done.
I don't even think we playing
But
checkers
see, that's
at
the
this
only-
point.
that's the only knock
You know
I
what
had.
I'm saying?
But see, that's the only knock I had with the mayor on that. As far as he should have said, take it to trial and not just let them settle for that.
Who you hang with?
No, I get it.
Who you hang with?
No, I get it. But I'm saying that's my.
I mean, like, to be honest, you can bypass Sheldon Neely, and you need to point the finger at Governor Whitmer and point the finger at Dana Nessel.
But he didn't have to accept it. The city
He
of
did
Flint,
not have to
the
accept it.
city of Flint
Absolutely.
accepted it. They didn't have to accept
And we did
that.
not have to accept it. And that's where I was.
Even on board members who voted
Absolutely.
yes.
And so that's where I was coming with. We ain't had
Yeah,
right
he
room
made
with
him.
that, right? But here's the thing though. is it that they didn't care enough because it didn't affect them for real?
I don't know what happened, but all I know is this.
Listen, I just think that's a valid question. Is it that, because listen, here's the thing though. We do that sometimes, right? Because it doesn't affect us directly. It doesn't really matter as much, right? So when it doesn't affect you directly, then does it really matter? Oh, I mean, if they get a little compensation, then that's okay with them because it didn't affect them directly. Well, here's the thing though, but if they don't move out, if they stay in the city and they didn't move out to Flushing and wherever the hell they live, right, they would have been affected the same way. But because we get a little bit of cash, we want to leave and we want to move out, it doesn't affect us because that's not where they want to trouble the waters, right? Yeah. That's not where they want to trouble the land. That's not where they want to drop all the bombs at, right? Yeah. So then when it comes to fighting for the people that the bomb got dropped on, it doesn't affect you directly because you done pulled your people out and it's not affecting you for real.
Can I give you another scenario?
My sister, listen, she spit. This
is,
I mean,
yeah. I can't crazy.
I can't deny what she's saying at all. Like, she's on point for real.
Well, that's why you need broke people representing you. I'm gonna give you a good example. We could have had a casino here in Flint.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the reason why we did not get that casino here was because billionaires couldn't come to an agreement about the first one and all of that. All of those billionaires were still billionaires long after that auto world was built and tore down. Sure was. And they still billionaires to the day. Some of them have died and they done left their kids as billionaires.
Yeah.
So when that deal broke through, it wasn't a win or lose situation for them. It was just a matter of more old money.
Yeah. It was gonna be win-win regardless.
Yeah, they don't,
But when the pastors didn't want the casinos here, though?
They said it was. They said that at first they said it was gonna be too much crime.
Remember.
But then think about where the casinos at in Detroit.
And don't the pastors be taking their churches down and be taking their people?
Man.
Some ain't something to sell out of people in America. I said that just to come to that.
We back to the sellout, huh? We back to where I'm at.
That's the point.
So what you call this person? Man, that's really good what you're doing. I really wish I could support you. But if I do, they ain't gonna take away my 501c3.
A nigga.
I like my grant money.
A nigga.
A damn clown.
That's why I listen to my sister Audrey Muhammad. Because she said you need to be self-sufficient and you need to get your organization that's not built off of a grant, because grants come with stipulations. They give you some money and they tell you what you got to do.
There you go.
So I listen to stuff like that.
So what you saying basically? There's a lot of people being bought in the city of Flint.
I said that earlier. Remember I said that? I said that. They're getting bought and paid for.
We need to take them from the pastors because all these churches up in here and all this crime. They got Jesus on every corner.
Well,
and what they say, he gonna provide, right?
Yeah, Jesus on every corner.
We got a new set of pastors.
But did you
we got deeply politically inclined and business pastors.
Do you really believe in them? Because we've been having pastors and all this crime going on.
I listen to Reverend Darrell.
I'm scared.
I listen to Pastor Trail Kell very well.
What was the older one or the younger one?
The older one with the 8 o'clock in the morning Saturday radio show.
They're cool. I mean,
see, that's just like with kids. It's a lot of good ones, but the few bad stick out. It's some good pastors, but some bad ones stands out.
Here's the thing, though. Here's my thing with the whole situation is do your own research.
Only reason
do your own research because it's suckers everywhere, and y'all ain't finna have me sucker stroking.
The number one way to judge a church. Number one.
If it's a mega church,
if they didn't talk over a school,
mega church,
and they didn't turn the gym into a sanctuary, you need to think about that church.
What you say? If it's
if they do not have a church van, you need to think about that church. Because I ain't finna, now if you got a little bitty house church, you trying to do something, I'm gonna help you.
They probably be more close.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, but if
you know,
you,
those small churches,
I don't know.
Rich. No, Rich, you know
Them
those
might
small
be the
churches.
ones
Now, those small churches, you know why they probably believe in God than anything? Because they praying to God every morning to get more people in there. Then when they get them in there, them mega churches, you see them congressmen, them political people
Man,
coming
look.
in there.
Man, I went to Cleflo Dollar Church.
I'd have fell out.
Now,
Man,
see, now,
Man, he had a concert wave going on. They was like so construction. You get out your car, you walk in the line, you sit down, the service is over. This line walking out the door, this line walking in. Man, I'm like, this is.
Hey, this is the same Cleflo Dollar that got on his daughter's head. You don't think he's still out?
Hey, look, this man preached.
That's the one that said,
This
I
man
need
preached
y'all
two
to buy.
sermons in Atlanta.
I need y'all to buy me a private jet.
He had to,
Yeah.
because he preached about 5 different states
and
on
the
Sunday.
congregation bought him a private jet. I know you lying.
And I'm willing to bet you some of them people is in poverty to go to that church.
All of them in poverty.
But he's staying, but the pastor stay.
But he preached business.
He's preached good tithing.
He preached. Well, of course you gotta make your members make money to pay their tithes. So he teaches.
So,
he
hold up, but
he
is that
teaches them how to
different?
make money,
Hold
and then they pay their
No,
tithes.
answer
Here's
this
the
question.
thing.
No.
Go,
Is that
go.
money going to God though? Because that's what you pay tithes for. I want to know that that jet was God
Storehouse,
flying in that
right?
jet.
Bring them into the storehouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my thing here. And I'm not going deep in this conversation.
Go for
it, because I got
This conversation can go different ways,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But bringing your tithes into the storehouse, let's think about it and meditate on it. What is your storehouse, right? Your storehouse is your home, okay? It's your home. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
I'm cool with that.
Your home.
You talking about bringing your money home,
You have to be able to sustain
your home, right?
your home.
See, I think that was some of the slave writings in the book, right?
You
there,
know,
where they say,
and
"Get
so
his
I
tithes."
think there's a lot of different interpretations with it, and you know, people take it and run with the scripture in different ways.
No, they keep it,
things
but
like
they make sure they put that money into that
But
church.
just meditate and just think about what is a storehouse. Even just let's look up the definition.
Let me say,
of a
can I say
storehouse,
this
okay?
though? Can I please say this about tithe? Because I just really want to dig. I kind of want to dig in it, but then I don't, because I'm probably gonna get a whole lot of trouble.
Finish the storehouse.
Okay,
That's
okay,
it. That's all. This is all I'm talking about. This one word. The storehouse definition is a building for storing goods such as provisions, whatever, you know, the things that you bring into your home.
Right.
I mean, a building, it doesn't necessarily have to be a church building.
Ask Kanye West.
Okay? That's all I'm saying. When you reading words and people like to play on words and things like that, all I'm saying is just be mindful. Just, you know, use this, because we all been gifted with it, and just kind of let it meditate a little bit and just think about the words and what it's trying to say to you.
No, this is what I'm saying.
And it doesn't mean that you have to take what your inputs
just hit me out on this.
and bring and take them output into, you know, the other things.
Hear me out on
That's all I'm saying.
I got you, but this is what I'm saying with the church. I could fall. I could be with it. Like these mega churches like TD Jakes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You can get your people buying them houses for them where they stay at, like your congregation, the people that's in your church. Like, you getting all this money, millions of dollars.
It seems like they should be giving away a house a month at least
to the members of the church.
Or why aren't they building communities?
That's the point I'm trying to make. When you got an endowment like that, just say all the churches here in Flint.
Yeah.
Let's just say we got 30 churches.
Yeah.
You mean y'all can't put no fund together, do a bank, take it to a bank where you can help your people, your members at the church? You ain't got a car, we'll get you a car. They a little worrying about the schools. Like you said, if a pastor got a school, why all churches ain't got a school?
Why aren't they buying some of these streets like Taylor or Jackson that all the houses got torn down and it's just land right there and building houses right there, and that's their street?
Because ain't the church where they say, well, you want to see how the dollar travel in the black community? How the dollar travel in the church? Because you can help the people. If you want to buy a grocery store, why all the churches couldn't get together? Like they say, we get on the board. Let's get us a grocery store. Get the Myers clothes on Pearson Roll. Why they can't get together? It just gotta be.
They may very well have been attempting to do so, and then getting roadblocked by other, as you say, these billionaires or the government blocking what they're trying to do.
Is it blocking?
You know what I mean?
Is it blocking? Is it blocking or are they selling out? Is it blocking or is it selling out?
All I'm saying is the leaders in
Is
the
it
churches may well be
Is it really blocking or is it selling out? Because if somebody come and tap you on the shoulder, is that blocking or is that selling out? Because they don't want you to do it. Is it blocking or is it selling out?
I feel what you're saying.
But
we're being the good businesses, they're being blocked. And what I mean by that, they're overtaxed.
I can
give y'all a prime example.
Yes.
It's a store
Definitely.
right there on the corner of on North and Lee. It is no longer open.
Yeah.
But that was a black lady store.
Mm-hmm.
And she fought them Arabs for over 50 years and was successful. She never could get her liquor license.
Mm-hmm.
She never could get enough money to pave her driveway.
Well, who was stopping her getting her liquor license? That's where the money is.
The rules and the price.
But I know you have to go to city council. City council, you have to go to get your liquor license.
They held that. And listen.
So if they approving all these Arab stores and they improving on black, that goes right back to
they're approving them and they're not taxing them. The problem is they're not taxing them.
Yeah, for 7 years, and all they do is switch.
No, they switch. Man, look.
They switched the name.
And we learned this. This is something we learned. This ain't something we just, hey man, what's going on? What's going on with your family? They tell me, no, man, this is what our grandmamas who told us. This is what their grandmamas told them. This is not new.
But that's the point.
But that's my point about doing the research yourself, though, because my grandmother told me a whole lot of stuff. But this is the information age. There's nothing that you can hide.
So when you say do the research, though, you say, okay, go do your research. How many people know how
to do the research?
You know what I mean? And then you cannot
trust
everything that's on the internet. No face value. People go Google this and this, and it's not. You can't trust everything.
No, you can't.
Google.
But that's value. You absolutely can't. But then that's when you. But then you do when you do your research and you see this and you say, okay, well I seen this and I seen such and such, and then what's stopping you from going to ask the question? Because that's not where you go to
research and fire.
You can't.
Them stores with the Arabs, they got 7 years.
You can't, but you can ask the question.
You can go there and you can see.
Talk to them. How do they know what questions to ask? We're trying to.
You have to educate people too.
You gotta educate the people to know what kind of questions. Okay, go do the research. Sounds good. How am I supposed to do that? What am I supposed to look for? What kind of question? Where do I go to do the research? And the many times as they say, a lot of the knowledge and information is buried in a what?
Book.
There it is. And a lot of times some people just don't know because they haven't even opened it up.
Because we've been programmed to do, like most people, what they do, go to school. What was the thing back in the day? You go to school, get a job in GM. Now they got you go to school, go to college now. It's just but you still
you go to school, go to college
when I graduate,
to get a job, but what is it called? You go into school, how this town was set up, Monday through Friday, you work, because that was the shop hours. On the weekend, you party, you do it again. If you ever really pay attention, I like these certain movies like Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel like the United States is. Mm-hmm.
I remember
it's set up like that, because you got your different classes of people. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, but it seems like, blacks, we like the bottom of the scale every time. We like the low man on the totem pole, and we fighting each other.
A lot of the reasons that is because, they study us. Believe it or not,
yeah,
they study
you are right about that.
The African Americans' tendencies, habits, the things that they do, where they live, where they play, what they like, where they go spend their money. Okay, and while you're making other people richer you're making yourself poor because you're spending your money here. You think about, let's think about this, right? Here it is. I gotta have my hair, right? Because I gotta be out here looking good, right? $300 for some hair or whatnot, wigs, things like that. Nails, right? I want to be out here looking good. I'm finna go spend my money on these nails and this and that versus putting the funds. Oh, hold on. What was up? The lashes. Gotta go get these lashes done because they gotta be popping, right? The number one person in the African American community that they target for the dollar is an African American woman.
Why do y'all think they legalize?
Because they spend their money. They spend their money. Okay, they spend their money. You're gonna spend it, right? You're gonna spend it. So what do these Arabs or foreign people, as you say, if you will, that come in? They come right into the black community, get planted, and give you and sell you what they know you like, right? To beautify. No, I just say that to say it's just like, okay, you gotta first we gotta look at ourselves.
Yeah.
You have to take a strong, hard look at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You really do. And think about, okay, what am I doing with my money? I'm in poverty. Okay, I don't like this. If you don't like it, then you change your habits and you find other things to do better with your money, and you try to hold on to it as much as you can. Because as we all know, inflation is just rising and the value of a dollar is going to decrease. The money that you have today can be eaten up by inflation. So then you need to look at ways to make your money grow with you as you're getting your money.
Look at the gas right now. You see.
Look at the cost of gas. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm very passionate about it because it's just like I've been looking at things, and I know many times us in the black community, we haven't been educated about money, about finances. You know, our parents didn't know how to tell us what to do. Yeah. They didn't know. How you gonna teach your kids how to do something and you don't know?
You're absolutely
right. You know, so then we out here thinking that we doing it up. We got these fancy Cadillac cars, right? We looking good, all luxury, looking good, you know? But it's surface level, and then you look at your bank account and it's broke, and you try to figure out how you can pay your next bill with your next paycheck. That's not it, sis and bro. It's just not. I mean, we really have to take a hard look at it. But that's for another podcast, right? And another show. But I'm just saying.
But it does speak on what Mickey was saying about as far as like keeping your dollars black though, because if you do it right, if you keep it like my nail tech is black,
circulated within our community. So again,
and she doesn't work at the she has her own spot,
home. Absolutely. And there it is. And so you know what? I support that because you know what she's doing. She's very smart. She's saving the overhead costs. You don't have to pay no other taxes on your building, your location. You're running your business out your home. And to me, I think that's a very smart. That's a very smart way to go.
Y'all do that for next week or something. Do a show about telling people how to do business and get their finances
That's
together.
very, very smart because you don't have. I get it. Once you get your money flow up and you can go invest into leasing a building or something, that's what's up. But until you get there and you know the basics, start from home. You should be having multiple streams of income coming in. It shouldn't just be that one paycheck you go get when you punch that clock. Once you leave that clock, you need to be thinking about other ways to generate more income to sustain you, sustain yourself.
And y'all
got any closing arguments?
Yeah, I want to say one thing right quick. I want to do something. We got to stop depending on us to keep us open. And what I mean by that, I don't care if we got to get behind, it's a lot of people that got nice t-shirts. I don't care if we got to get behind them and get them to the place to where they can sell their t-shirts all over the United States. They have orders coming in. We need something. We need something to bring money into Flint instead of just our pennies just keep. And then we got another.
Well, hold on, we do have that.
am a walking billboard. If y'all haven't noticed, y'all see me on every
We got a
t-shirt.
lot of good shirts.
I am a graphic t-shirt collector. So I wear t-shirts every single day, couple times a day, because I change them out or whatever. So I don't know if you've seen, but I have a million t-shirts and I am a walking billboard. So feel free to send a small or an extra small to me and I will definitely wear your t-shirt. No, I'm not even joking. I will
believe
definitely.
every time I
And
see you
anybody
got
that-
on the fresh.
And I always have, and I wear a
Well, you
lot
gotta
of them.
start wearing this one till November.
Can you, I
Till
got,
the second.
I have
I'm
small
gonna
and
get you,
extra small.
I'm gonna get you a pink one.
Give me, yeah, I don't care what color it is. I probably got some shoes to match it. Just go for it.
Y'all got anything, sisters?
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Nicole. I appreciate you, Rick.
Appreciate
I
all of
appreciate
you.
you,
Appreciate
man.
you, man.
And I just want to say that we just got to do better, right? We just got to call these things out as we see them, because how people gonna do better? We got to hold these people accountable, right? We put them in these places for us to do these things for us, and when they're not standing on what they saying they're gonna do, call them out. Why not? That's what we're here for, right? They work for us.
And
We
when
don't
she
work for
said
them.
hold them accountable, that means you speak up.
Right.
Yup.
Don't just sit there and watch it. You have to, your voice has power. And when it comes
Absolutely.
in numbers, it'll be heard. So it's just like you
Yes.
have to speak up. Use your voice.
Yes.
Use your writing. Right.
Get your pen out.
Get your pen.
Get your pen out.
We need to be all up in their face till they sick and tired of seeing us,
Listen.
to hear us and know how we feel, because everybody voice matters.
Absolutely. And we need to do that. We need to make sure that we're getting out and voting. We need to make sure that we are standing behind these people that are working for us, really in the community and doing their due diligence to help us and bring these things to light for us. And we need to get those people out that are not.
And stop following people that don't follow you. That's our main problem. We got a lot of people that want to pick and choose what they want to stand for. And then when they decide to stand for something, they want us to stand behind them. But when we stand for something, they act like we don't exist.
So basically you're saying don't sell out and don't support
Man,
the sellouts.
it was a lot of people that didn't support our zero balance of our water accounts.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people
Here's the
that
thing about that
it was a lot of people that
Can I
didn't
say
support
this
Eric
real
May
quick about
subpoena Rick Snyder.
that zero balance thing? Because I just feel like everybody in Flint should
Should
have
have
just said F that bill.
For real.
And nobody should have paid it, seriously,
Poison.
because it's poison. And if not one soul in Flint paid for it, then what they gonna do? Cut it off some damn what? You're not using it no way.
Well,
I just felt like nobody should have paid it. I think like
600
everybody
people
should have
finna
said
get
F
their
that
water
bill.
turned off soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, it's
But we
really
need
more
to
than
stand
600
together.
because he just said 600 didn't pay in a year. He didn't say about the ones that missed 2 months, the ones that missed 6 months, or the ones that missed 10. He said a year or more.
But listen, that's when we got to do this, and we got to hold hands, and we got to stand together, and we got to come to an agreement as people and as a city and say that we're not going to stand for it, right?
Well,
we all have to do that. We all got to say that we're not going to stand for it. You, okay?
Results will bring people. Believe me, when some of them water accounts start getting turned off, and we say, okay, meet me downtown, we finna make them zero balance. It'll be no people coming down there then.
Tell me peace.
We all out. All right, y'all.